It sounds like my Friday night. So glad we went for it.
Well, back in the day, 2006, I was running a small independent record label called Risky Records, and Rose was in a band called Days Like Stars, and he was the drummer in that band. You probably never heard of them. We were doing a little label launch up in King's Cross. We got a call back saying, "Can we book you again?" And it was all you, man.
No, man, it was all you, man.
You know I love you.
No, I love you more. I met Garth at a club called Candy's Apartments, and he went in to his band practice at the time. He was in a band called Frangipani, a hip-hop band, and they had a scratch DJ named just Jockey Hansom.
What up?
Garth walked into band practice the day after he met me and said, "Hey Hayden, we just met this guy that's way cooler than you. His name's Rose." That's a true story.
Ask him that same question right now.
Hey, is that true? Did that happen?
Yeah, it's clear you were drunk at the time.
And we decided to put on a party at Ruby Rabbit in Sydney called Bel Air, and we just got all our friends together. Hayden was booked downstairs, and I didn't even know. I think Garth just booked it, and I was at the bar having a drink, and someone dropped the Baywatch theme. I literally dropped my drink without even Chris's consent. I just said, "Hey, do you want to come upstairs and play with us later on?" And Hayden was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I think that night we just kind of, do you remember what happened?
Well, yeah, well the main reason was you realised he was a much better DJ than I was.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. But I didn't have the heart to tell you at the time, so I just bought.
You were no longer needed.
I've actually not forgiven you for that, but anyway.
Okay, well that's, okay. We'll work on that later.
The first gig we played was in 2007 at Candy's Apartment.
That's right.
And we had spray painted Hey Now shirts.
That was a crazy weekend.
So it was a really happy trio.
And we were ecstatic. We loved our jobs, and we were happy three guys. And then,
So how did you get in?
yeah.
Who is this guy?
Since I booked a nightclub, you would get more gigs if I was in the group.
Finally. You finally realised why we had
Now that I don't, it's like completely backfired.
Yeah, well, now we're in a situation 2.5 years later where you take a cut of all our gigs and you're a manager and you can't escape that.
We had that marathon weekend where we did Sleazeball, Park Life, Afterlife, and then played a gig at
Candies.
And at 6 o'clock in the morning, we had a group hug, the three of us, and I saw Garth just at the side with a little tear.
Yeah.
We let him in, and it was cemented.
We spend a lot of time listening to a lot of different kinds of music every week. We tend to jump on net, go onto as many blogs, Hypem and Beatport and iTunes to keep up with what we're doing and what the latest artists are bringing out. So it's a lot of downloading, a lot of listening, and there's a lot of shit out there.
I'm someone who gets a lot of trade magazines, specific dance music magazines like Mix Mags, both UK and Australian. And I find I can read about many more tracks than I have time to listen to, and that helps me filter and find out what I'm interested in. Reading really helps, oddly enough, given that it's about stuff that ultimately people listen to.
The big thing is these days, everyone can DJ. It's actually kind of hard to prove yourself as being much better than anyone else. So the best way to start is to get the computer gear and start making music, and that's when you can actually set yourself apart.
Always learning about new ways to produce. It's not hard to keep on top of stuff because I'm so fantastic at what I do. I use a Mac-based system, so Ableton, Logic and Pro Tools. We use a lot of software synthesizers, which are cheaper than the hardware stuff. We use Trilogy, Omnisphere, Truria Synths, the Moogs and things like that. You've really got to know the ins and outs of each program that you're learning.
If you want to be in the industry, there's a musical component and there's a business component to it. 20 years ago, the success in the industry was around the ability to sell recordings. And because of the onset of downloading technology and so forth, that stuff just doesn't have value now, and you can't actually build a career around that. You've got to be good, and you've got to be good live. In the modern world, to improve your chances of a career is all around this phenomenon of social networking. Your ability to work Facebook, Twitter, as well as the face-to-face opportunities you get with punters at gigs. If you build your brand and you're persistent, and you are good, you'll definitely get a career. Become stratospherically successful, that's where the luck comes in.
Go for it.
Brisbane was a crazy thing for us because we were in Sydney for like 2.5 years, almost 3 years playing around. We won this competition within the mix to go over there and play future music. It was a big honour because it was publicly voted.
This record is fucking...
We went over there and played the festival and then started playing shows over there, and it's just something about Brisbane, it's so different.
We have love for all the peoples of the world, but the thing is, I think whenever you go out of your hometown, there's something around the fact that people recognise that in some sense you've made an effort.
Yeah.
And definitely Brisbane's sort of taken to the group on that basis.
Halo Red started in Brisbane. We always wanted to do our own party, our own way, under our own name. We just gave out thousands of glow sticks to everyone and
Decked out the club in like different lights.
we kind of had that strong belief in Halo early on that we wanted everyone to be part of it, whether, you know, only half of it's touring or whatever it is. Everyone has their job. Getting into it.
And how to make music people like. So start off by getting a track someone else has heard, remixing it, therefore your name is associated with someone else's name who they've heard of. They'll actually give it a chance, give it a listen. You just write stuff.
Been around for a minute, been around the block, still pack shows in it. And then you wanna get with it.
Okay, yeah. Step up in the car, heading out on the swerve. Sun shining in my face, popping on the herd. Couple fly honeys out, chilling on the curb. Getting live for the night, money, what you never heard. Instead of being younger than name, we flow harder. That man running the game, we go farther. Grandstanding, sipping my wet, but no carver. We in the scene, bringing the change like Obama. And you see me in the spot, spreading vibes round. Making my living off this hot shit I write down. Everybody saying truck got the high sound. So when you busters, I'ma jump into pipe now. We in effect, got the worldwide connects on the flex, writing nothing but the fight for your next. Hey now, brave out, putting an end to any straight doubt.
Awesome, man. That's sweet.
For Mega's Hey Now studio session.
Collaborating with artists so far is just through basic contact, MySpace, and going to their gigs and saying, hey, we really like what you do, this is what we do, and maybe we can do something together in the future. And that's how it's worked with the Foreign Beggars. Doesn't feel like a job.
It's a really great job.
If you love what you do for a living, you can never work a day in your life. If you could work with anyone, who would it be?
Chemical Brothers or Daft Punk?
The single greatest vocalist I'd like to work with would be John Farnham.
Keyboard player called Rick Wakeman. Rick, if you're out there, call me, buddy.
Along that vein, I reckon Michael McDonald has a wicked voice and would be mad on dance music.
Michael McDonald.
Well, that's what a fool believes.
Ah, Jimmy Brother.
Amazing voice.
The dream is alive!
Anyone who says they don't want to be famous is full of shit.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to be very, very famous.
That's it.